The Toll is a brand new 2021 horror thriller. It's only listed as a thriller, but it's definitely horror, so I don't understand why that isn't properly classified, but whatever. And this will be releasing on Friday. And this is about a young woman who takes an Uber, whatever company it might be, but an Uber, rideshare, kind of thing. And she gets in the car with this guy, and she's very weary of him. And they start taking the path to her destination. And they get on this dirt road, and this dirt road ends. And then they can't get off of this road. And there's a being called the Toll Man, or the Toll Man? Yeah, the Toll Man. And he's asking for a toll. And it's not told to them what that is, but when they try to get off the road, they find that they are dealing with something very supernatural, and they can't seem to find their way out. Now, I'm a big fan of movies like this, kind of looped realities and things fucking with your mind. So I am the target audience for this film, and okay. I really enjoyed this film, and until the last maybe couple minutes. And at first I thought the ending was going in a certain way that I was like, ooh, that's dark. I like that. Like, wow, I've never seen an ending like that. And I was hoping that was where it was going to end. And it didn't. And it went on from there, and then it just felt too convenient. And it felt like it kind of undid things from previous in the film that I didn't feel added up in the end. So that frustrated me a bit. Maybe on a second viewing, I'd be okay with it, but I feel like if this ending was stronger, for me, I would have been really high on this, because I find, as I said, I'm the target audience for these kinds of films. I like these kinds of setups. I like that supernatural looped area kind of thing where people just are stuck in something, and then something is fucking with their minds. And that's just it. When this thing fucks with their minds, it gets pretty damn dark, especially at the end. There's something between the male in the movie and his mother, and she's outside his window. That shit was dark. And then there's an interaction between the girl and a lot of people of her past, and it tells us why she is the way that she is. And it's actually a pretty good exploration of a problem that we have in this world, and kind of how she's dealing with it, and the way that she's interpreting it in her life, and how the Toll Man is using it against her by manipulating her mentally. I thought all that stuff was really cool, and there's some good imagery in here. The Toll Man himself is very cool looking. He's on the poster, but in the film I quite liked it. And then there's other people in this film that are wearing those like the plague masks, those like ones with like the big beaks on them. Those were cool, and they encounter a lot of things that aren't there. And I quite enjoyed all of that stuff. And you very much are questioning throughout, like, who to trust and why. I just feel like they didn't land that part, and that's mostly because of the ending. I feel like if maybe they could have adjusted the ending in a way. But maybe on a second viewing, I'd like the ending more. I'm not sure if I'll ever give it a second viewing, because I was fairly off-put by that. But still, I didn't, as it ended, it wasn't bad enough that I was like, oh fuck, I'm bummed I watched that. That was a waste of my time. That's not how I felt. I quite enjoyed everything, and so my experience with it was good. I typically don't allow a movie's ending to ruin the entire experience. If I'm enjoying the entire film and then the last minute or two kind of upsets me and takes away from the impact of everything, yeah, it'll bum me out, but I still really enjoyed the other 90 minutes, or whatever. And with this film, I felt that. And the ending isn't atrocious. I didn't think like, oh my god, that was just dumb and stupid and I hate this. Now, there are a couple moments that I feel that the logic is thrown away a bit. You know, maybe characters' reactions or things that they say in the moment or whatever don't feel realistic. But I'm willing to forgive that as long as the film is not doing it too often where I'm just like, all right, I'm so checked out at this point. They just keep making stupid decisions. So overall, I liked this one. And all I'm seeing on IMDb as of yet, I mean, the movie hasn't been officially released yet, but all I'm seeing is negativity. And I think that's unfair. I think this is a pretty cool a horror thriller. And while it can be generic at times, I did like how it played out and how dark it got and kind of the messages that it was exploring. And I guess now that I'm talking about it, I kind of understand why things wrapped up the way they wrapped up. I just think it might have been better had they just done a little bit more exploration of that and created a little bit more doubt around that, so that when, you know, certain twists might happen, that it felt more organic to the story that we just were told and to the characters and how they were, you know, acting throughout. But that's it for me. Other than that, I did quite enjoy this. This is one of those supernatural tales, and they're trying to figure out what the price is. And yeah, I dug it. I dug it. It's, you know, it might be a 1 or 2 time watch, probably one, but it was worth my time. I was glad I watched it. It flew by. It was only like an hour and 15 minutes before the credits rolled, so it's a quick one. And yeah, you know, at first I was like, oh, this bitch, you know, she's acting a certain way, and I'm like, oh god, this girl's annoying the fuck out of me. Like, come on, girl. But as the film progresses and you find out about her backstory and things that have happened, you're like, oh, okay, like I can see why she's like that now. And I kind of forgave what I had initially thought of her. So sometimes your first instincts with people are just wrong because you don't know what they've been through, right? So I liked this. I liked this, and I'm giving it a recommendation for those of you that find that this is something that you're into. So let me know if you watch it. Adios.